All right, now more of film critic Pam Powell's interview with the director of the new film Louis Armstrong's Black and Blue.
Why the director says it was important to tell Armstrong's story.
What was one of the most surprising moments for you as you went through this path of discovery of who this man really was?
I mean, there were so many different points of wonder, but this whole conversation around, civil rights and what he didn't do and how he wasn't active, the simple act of him having success and getting to a point where he's playing these institutions and hotels that were essentially for white folks, where they loved him and they wanted to book him, but he couldn't stay there, or people like him couldn't stay there. So when he says, "You want to book me? If I can't stay, I'm not going to play," that changes things. That's civil rights. That's activism. Now, he might have been doing it, one might argue, selfishly, like he wasn't thinking about all people like him, but regardless of whether that's true or not, that's an act of civil rights activism in his own right. And he should be recognized for some of the things that he did on that level.
Crossing those racial boundaries, and even if it does on the surface seem to be selfish, as you said, he received ridicule from both sides of that racial fence. And bringing this, and we still are dealing with so many issues with race now. How do you hope maybe your film might influence how people see racial equality, or do you just think this is a story about Louis Armstrong that you just want the world to see?
Well, it's a little of both. I think through Louis Armstrong, he's a prism for understanding how Black people in America feel. As he talked about the Star-Spangled Banner, how he felt when he played it, he said he felt proud to be an American. And simultaneously, you understand that he winds up playing it in a non-traditional manner. When Hendrix played it in a non-traditional manner at Woodstock, it was controversial. And when Armstrong played it in a non-traditional manner, some people had issue with that as well. But what he's saying is, regardless of whether or not America fully loves me or embraces me or fully loves people who look like me or fully embraces people who look like me, I still love America. And I think that's an important message for all Americans to take with them, that we're not perfect, but people still fight for what's right and still fight for the country simultaneously. And hopefully one day we can be at a place where a lot of this racism foolishness is done away with, and we can all look at each other as Americans, as people all on the same team, not just a country divided by race.
Very good. I have time for, unfortunately, one last quick question. I got to ask it. What's your favorite Louis song?
I've been asked that a lot recently for obvious reasons. But there's a song called Cold Cart Blues, which is in the film. And, through the research and getting to know Louis, I feel like I have a picture of it as it plays in my mind. I can imagine, Louis going through the process as a kid delivering coal somewhere, and, hoping or dreaming for a better life or a better way. And as we know, he eventually found that better way. So I really like Cold Car Blues, but there's so many. It's kind of crazy to be able to decide on one, but I'll just tell you that for now.
That sounds great. Sasha, thank you so much for talking with me about this incredible new documentary.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, well, you can see this film on Apple TV+.
Don't forget, you can check out Chuck and Pam's website and podcast for all of their movie reviews.